in terms of the print magazine, we'll have a meeting each month and say, right, what do we want to put in the next issue? But then the online is much more day to day. You know, we might see, oh, this is trending, let's do something on it. And the online is also a lot more analytical. And that, again, is a thing that's changed massively over the time I've been there. We look a lot at the metrics. So we can look on Google Analytics at what's performing well. We can obviously see on our social what's getting the best engagement. And we'll know that that sort of content is going to be right for our audience. You know, we have a good idea anyway from knowing the people, but you can see it a lot more in the metrics now than you used to. But then there's also a balance with that, because obviously you don't want to be completely led by that, because then you're just kind of producing the same sort of content all the time. And sometimes it's the controversial things that get the most views and engagement, but you also need to be giving people the kind of the basic business advice that we deliver. So it might not be as exciting for people to kind of engage with online if we're telling them 10 tips about how to manage your team, but actually they find that really useful too. So it's a balance between the two.
Yeah, because you're right though, because like the controversial stuff, it's the same with, we found that with the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, anything controversial gets the views, but then it's you're right, getting that balance, isn't it, of like getting great information, but then as I say, it's crazy how the controversial stuff does.
But you can't be too clickbaity, can you? You know, if you're trying to do, I mean, certain channels can, but for us and for you with the podcast, I think if you're trying to deliver content to that professional market and give them professional content, it needs to be a balance, doesn't it? Definitely. Yeah.
How do you balance it out though? Because there are so many different views. I mean, in general, but in our industry, I mean, I always think the beauty industry is a lovely industry, but there are as well quite like there's a lot of different opinions, especially with things like training and you know, and standards, and you know, you've got like the standard training route now, and then you've got the shorter courses and things, and I mean, there's so many different takes on it all. How do you manage to stay balanced on that?
I think with for us with content, it's more about sharing other people's opinions. So rather than me saying, oh, I don't agree with this, I don't approve of one-day courses, whatever it might be, I will try to find a balance of, you know, I might interview somebody that does one-day courses and does it in a very responsible way, i.e. you have to have a certain level of training before you do the course, etc. And somebody who's like absolutely against it. It's trying to present that balance of opinions. I think where there are arguments in the industry, actually that's quite interesting for people to read the different views and hopefully do it in a balanced way, and then have other people then weigh in with their own opinions online, which obviously gets the engagement. So yeah, I think it's just trying to make sure if we're putting across a strong opinion, we'll try to also balance it with someone else's opinion who has a slightly different opinion.